Hello everybody, this is VerticalSandwich. I am in Climatrol. I actually reloaded my game right before fighting Knee first. And I'm grinding up Knee. And I discovered this way to infinitely spawn enemies. So what you gotta do is you gotta get in a fight with Blastoids in it. And the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna fight until the Scaly's gone. And you'll see the results of how this allowed me to grind Knee up just like ridiculous levels at a time. Now, once we get rid of the Scaly, the strategy can begin. So, what you have to have is you just have to have one person with double weapons equipped. So then, we're going to stop this cycle of fighting. Yeah, and we're going to let the Blastoid spawn, and then we're going to put the shield on one person and fight twice a turn, over and over, until... Well, but only when there are 3 Blastoids, until we're taking out a Blastoid with each hit. Mathematically, as long as you just take 2 slashes and then stop until it replenishes a Blastoid, mathematically you will eventually get down to Blastoids that only take 1 hit to defeat. And the reason is because whenever an enemy spawns, it spawns an enemy with identical hit points. So, like, we're essentially guaranteeing that the weakest enemies will survive. Or at least enemies weaker than our hit will survive. I don't know how to explain the logic behind it, but it's because essentially, like, when you don't kill Blastoids, you're making them weaker. And so eventually, because it's random which Blastoids you hit, you'll end up with Blastoids that are only 1 hit away from dying. So we'll just wait for them to spawn a new Blastoid, and we'll continue to just have shields on. Now you can also do this with the slug messes, but they do more damage, and these things seem to be worth more experience. Or it's easier to do it with them. I had a far better. So see, we made those 2 Blastoids weaker. So if they're the surviving Blastoid, the Blastoid they spawn will be weaker. I know it's weird. But you essentially will then end up with a group of 3 Blastoids that you can always just take out 2 whenever there are 3 of them. And then wait for them to respawn, take out 2, wait for them to respawn, take out 2. And you can do this forever. You literally can do it until you run out of things to heal. To heal with, anyway. See, we still have Blastoids that'll take 2 shots. But now, every Blastoid on the screen will be at the hit point level of the one on the left after the spawning. Which apparently is too strong. So, there's 1 hit off of each of the ones on the right. And now again, we're going to spawn 2 more with 2 hits. So it may take a while, but we will eventually set it up so that all of our Blastoids are weaker. And not that killing them in 2 hits is a horrible problem, but the idea that you can get them down to all being 1. And Blastoids will spawn, like, so there was the strong one. Well, no, I guess they're all exactly the same. So what we really need to do is hit that middle one, and then they'll all just be 1 away. Okay, that one's dead. Now one's okay. So the middle one's still got 2 hits left in it. So now all of them will have 2 hits left in them. If I'd known that, I actually might have done an attack, just on the off chance I'd hit each of them. But I wasn't really paying attention while I was recording. I was just kind of in autopilot. And you will have to take some hits, but the Blastoids don't do a lot of damage. So again, this is in Climatrol. It's the level underneath the top level. Second to highest floor. Okay, so right and middle only have 1. So now we have to hit the left one. There we go. Now everything on the screen only has 1. Or is only 1 away from being killed. So there we go. And the middle one can only spawn ones with less hit points. or with hit points the same as itself, and it's one away from being killed. So from now on, all of our Blastoids will be one-shot kills. And literally, you can keep this going forever until you mess up the sequence. The tricky part about it is if you heal, like you use an item to heal, it automatically will reset you to attack. So if you don't hit the button right away, or you don't hit the button during the sequence of the battle, like it'll attack twice in a row and you'll take them all out. But yeah, it's unbelievable the amounts of experience I got from doing this. And like, the other thing that makes this really exciting is that the amount of experience you get is divided by the number of people in your party. So having 2 people, we get far more experience. But if you did a sequence like this and just let your main character die and did it with just like me alone, you literally could get like 6-digit numbers of experience pretty easily. I think the best idea, well, I think the one that I'm going to show after this, after we time-lapse this into like crazy amounts of having done it, like I did this for an hour straight several times. I think this is probably the largest lump sum I got. Because I just mess up. I'd hit the wrong button or I'd set up the wrong thing. But yeah, so you can just instantly spawn Blastoids. It's a fun fact about the game. Yeah, and sometimes the Blastoids make the noise like they're going to spawn one and then don't spawn one. It's some sort of weird game glitch. So don't go by sound, because I got ready to attack and realized that it hadn't actually spawned because I was like doing other stuff, like processing videos as I was playing, which is something I do a lot. So this is actually the end of a different sequence, but it's going to demonstrate what the final tally on these Blastoids is going to be. So this is a really good strategy if you, first off, if you just want to gain tons of experience doing something monotonous that has almost 0 chance of killing you. Second, if you're having trouble with knee first, you logically, I think I took knee up like 6 or 7 levels doing this. And I mean, she gets to the point where every level, you know, is 20,000 experience. Because like with two people in your party, like killing 3 of these is worth like 300 experience. So if you roughly figure like 100 experience per Blastoid, like it's ridiculous what you can do with this. I mean, you'd have to kill 1,000 of them, but you're killing them 2 at a time. So, I mean, yeah, 500 attack sequences would get you over 100,000. It's not. I don't know that I recommend that. I mean, that's 100,000 per person, too. But I believe this results in, like, double level ups for both of these people. Or both of these characters. And they're both in. They're already at huge levels. They're, like, knees above level 40. My main character's, like, 23 or something. So, yeah. So, here we go. So, if you're going to use a Trimate and heal somebody. See, I did it without the attack. And then, like, you got to make sure you hit the button because it instantly defaults to her sword. Which would kill both these Blastoids really easily. So there we go. Now we're back to the strategy we want. Yeah, I didn't know when I figured this out. I was like, hey, I think I can make these guys go on forever. Like, once it started happening, I was just like, this is a ridiculously handy way to just kind of break the game. So, there we check out. Now, yeah, and if you forget to press the button, your main character... See, now there we can just do back-to-back fights. Because sometimes they will do that. They will just spawn a bunch of them. But eventually, you know, all good things must come to an end. You can't keep up a cycle like this forever. First off, eventually you would break the math of the game. At some point. There has to be a level where the math of the... This was a 16-bit game, so... that could be a ridiculously high number. However, on another hand, you just... why would you want to, really? Why would you want to do this for like 8 hours straight? You could, I suppose. And I don't even remember why I ended this if I made a mistake. Or... Because we're both in good hit point. We probably shouldn't have. There's no good reason why we would have ended it. Yeah, I just made a mistake. So here we go. Look at that experience number. Alright, so, have fun, with whatever this is. And, take care. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helps somebody out. So, bye everybody.